might do, instead of jumping into Q&A, I might get Cath and Ian to then talk about what's happening in 2026. How do we get to this point? How do we get to the point in which we can introduce AI into the platform? One of the things that Cath and Ian will talk about is the admin console comms change, and particularly the introduction of GraphQL, as Ian mentioned. So, Cath, if you can go through that, and then again, that will help answer, I imagine, some of the questions around, how do we get from a proof of concept like Ian's shown into core development. And again, apologies, we are running a bit over, but for those that have dropped or need to drop, we are recording this. Over to you, Cath.
Thank you, Ian. Could you please stop sharing so I can?
I would love to stop sharing, but I think I've missed it by that much. It's I've got the button there, but my system's not allowing me. Is there any way to force me to stop sharing?
That's a very good question.
I can send you the link to the present. Oh,
there we go.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, can you see my screen?
I can.
Excellent. Okay, so beyond 2025.2. So let's have a look at what's in store. However, let's first do a little mission debrief over the last 2 releases, just to refresh your memories if you haven't upgraded yet as to what was included in those. So 2024.2, we had the ability to version key resources. So you could choose like a specific version or the latest version. And we also, our big piece of work was the OIDC integration, supporting OAuth 0, Azure, or actually that should say Enter ID, and Okta, and then Kaltura version 7 player support and accessibility improvements. And then for 25.1, we made some enhancements to make it easy to access embed codes and URLs to share in integrated LMSs. We made some more improvements to the OIDC integration, and then we did a few little bits and pieces for user experience improvement, basically, showing a spinner so that people don't continue doing work when things are happening, and lots of dependency upgrades. So moving on, so our future intelligence briefing, the roadmap. So for 2026.1, we're looking at this admin console communications refactor, and I will hand over to Ian to talk about that. That is the GraphQL stuff he talked about earlier. And it is kind of a technical area. So over to you, Ian, to talk about the beauty of that you see in that.
The beauty. It is technically beautiful, yes. So this is one of those sort of really big jobs that goes on behind the scenes, and this has been going across a couple of releases in the background, and it's continuing on. But what we are basically doing is completely changing the way the admin console talks to openEQUELLA. So the method it uses at the moment was a technology that came out many years ago and was great at the time, but security has since moved on, and best practices say that's not the way to do it. So we're introducing that new API I mentioned. GraphQL is a more modern sort of API building on from lessons learned in REST APIs, and allows us to sort of do more queries more efficiently and gives us a lot of capability. So bit by bit, we're replacing all the admin console calls that were done with GraphQL. And once they are all done, the admin console will continue to work as it did before. It should be 99% transparent. However, what it allows us to also do is not only improve our security posture, but also gives us capabilities for the future. And that's where we mentioned the idea of foundational for web UI admin. because with that API surface there that matches everything the admin console can do, then obviously we have a easily utilized API for web browsers. So then we can start doing some of the new UI, but for the admin console in the web, sitting alongside the UI. And that's something obviously everyone's been asking for a very long time. So we're still sort of working towards that. So yeah, that's probably what that piece is.
Excellent. And Ian, did you want to talk about the Moodle module as well and the admin console package?
Okay, yes. So looking at the Moodle module, we do continue to do updates for that. We need to do some updates for us, especially for the movement to some of the new versions of Moodle. They're definitely deprecated and started removing things. And obviously our Moodle module has been around for a long time. So again, it utilizes some old things which are no longer there. We also have plans long-term to improve the settings UI in there, and also to try and move more of it to a strict LTI 1.3 implementation. At the moment, it has a combination of LTI 1.1 and the old shared secrets, but we would like to further improve that to follow some of the security best practices and use some of those updates in Moodle, but also provide a better configuration and usage situation. So we're looking towards that in the future. The admin console package, that's obviously that standalone package that you download to launch the admin console. That package includes an embedded Java runtime environment. So we need to make sure we sort of keep that up to date. We also have some features we would like to look at adding to that, such as the storage of passwords, which is important when you have multiple institutions. But obviously we need to do that in a very nice and secure way. So it's not something we can quickly do, but we plan to be doing an update for that in the coming months. And yes.
Thank you. And then Al, you wanted to talk about this one.
Yeah, terrific. So yeah, obviously Cath and Ian has just outlined what will come next in 26.1. One of the things that will be occurring in parallel to that is looking at 26.2 and how we can make AI a bit of a reality in Equella. As we've just witnessed, Ian has showed us a proof of concept around MCP, and we're looking at what that version will look like. One of the questions we've asked clients over recent months, both from a roadshow but also the regular meetings that I have. Oops, and
Sorry.
Cath, yeah,
Wrong way.
jumping around. There we go. Was
Yeah.
around the continuation of all of the work that we've done around the UI, and I think things like the dashboard portlets and the favorites look amazing, both from a front and a back end perspective. But yeah, our question to clients was, do we continue with UI or do we, now look and embrace AI as that's become more mainstream? And the feedback was overwhelming in as far as focusing on AI. We saw that with the poll question response as well, whereas probably this time last year, there was certainly clients that were still hesitant to embrace AI. That's no longer the case. So our mission, should we choose to accept it, which we absolutely will, is to look at how we can transition Equella from being that passive content repository to being an active content hub utilizing AI. So yeah, what we're looking to do over the next 6 months, we are doing a number of scoping exercises with some clients to look at proof of concepts around how we can embrace things like Copilot connectors, and whether that's the pathway we pick for 26.2 onwards in terms of more formalizing that within the code of Equella, or whether we do look to develop MCPs or take a different pathway. That's what we'll be spending, as I said, in parallel to the 26.1 roadmap development work, time to consider. So as you have feedback to us, if you are looking to do some proof of concept work yourself, please reach out to us. And we'll keep you informed in terms of which way we take the platform. But yeah, the second half of the year, next year, we'll absolutely have a focus around AI. Excellent. Now you can click the next screen, Cath.
I had my hand sitting on my mouse, so
Excellent. So that actually ends the formalities of Edalexpo. We've run 15 minutes over and we have lost a number of attendees, but that's totally fine. So yeah, we're going to stick around for probably the next 5 minutes. So if there is any other feedback, any questions about the roadmap, any questions about the amazing MCP proof of concept that Ian demonstrated, then yeah, feel free to turn your video on, come off mute and ask us questions. We will stop recording at this point, just so that we can speak freely, but thank you everyone for your time. As I said, we'll stick around for 5 minutes and yeah, look forward to speaking to you further.